Moving on to Sri Lanka now, which is facing nationwide 13-hour power cut. This comes as the economic crisis in Sri Lanka deepens. The island nation is facing the worst economic crisis since independence. This has been sparked by a lack of foreign currency to pay for the most essential imports. Authorities have decided to extend the 10-hour power cuts by another 3 hours. This means a 13-hour nationwide blackout. As a result, hospitals are running out of life-saving medicines. They are suspending routine surgeries. The biggest medical facility in Sri Lanka, that is the National Hospital, said that it had stopped routine diagnostic tests. The country has been under severe electricity rationing since the start of the month. Hike in power outage was imposed because there was no oil to power thermal generators. More than 40% of Sri Lanka's electricity is generated from hydropower. Officials say most of the reservoirs were running dangerously low because there had been no rain. Coal and oil are imported in short supply as Sri Lanka now does not have enough dollars to pay suppliers. And to make matters worse, Sri Lanka's main fuel retailer has now said that there will be no diesel in the country for at least 2 days. This is the most commonly used fuel for public transport. Sri Lankans have been forming long queues for fuel in sweltering temperatures. People have been complaining about government mismanagement. People do not know how they will be able to feed their families now. How did Sri Lanka land itself in this economic crisis? The country had been facing economic trouble since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. The lockdown exacerbated the situation. Tourism, as you know, is one of the major sources of foreign exchange for the island nation. The sector was badly hit due to the pandemic. Sri Lanka is now left with foreign reserves of about $2.31 billion as of February. It faces debt payments of $4 billion. Local media said that there have been widespread protests across the country. Protesters are demanding fuel for private vehicles. There are no reports of violence, but hundreds of motorists blocked main roads in several towns. Dozens of protesters demonstrated outside the Central Bank of Sri Lanka in Colombo. They are also demanding removal of Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Ajit Cabral. And for more insight on this, our correspondent Dasuni Athoda has sent us this report from Colombo. Listen in.
Sri Lankans across the island are quite literally taking in the heat of Sri Lanka's worsening economic crisis as citizens are experiencing a 13-hour power cut across the island today. That's not all. State run Sipetco did issue a statement a few days ago stating that they have run out of diesel stocks, requesting the public to refrain from coming in to fuel stations and queuing up to obtain diesel. Now, what's worse is that there seems to be no end to the problems and the crises that the citizens face here, and the government is yet to come out with a solution for the ongoing crisis. Reporting for WION World is one from Colombo. I'm Dasuni Athoda.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.